All right, here we go. This is part two of the editing training, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and talk about these various bins that are right here um, uh, and various windows that you have. This first one is the editing bin, okay, media bin. It's where all your media is housed. Obviously, we have all the video clips here. This little icon is a sequence icon, and that's this one right here for a sequence. So I can actually click and rename that, and I can put AHS versus CHHS there, and if you'll watch here, when I click off of it, it changes it. So my sequence is called AHS versus CCHS. If I was doing multiple sequences, New Manchester, Lithia Springs, Douglas County versus Chapel Hill, I could have those here and have different edits open. Okay, so if I want to add stuff to my media bin, I can either go up here and go import, so file and then go to import, or I can hit control I. So let's hit control I to import footage, and just for the heck of it, if I had music in here, I don't know why we have Mariah Carey Oh Holy Night, but if I wanted to use that, then I could use that. So this is where you could bring in music or pictures. Like if I had a logo, we've had Skills USA stuff, but if I had a camera or whatever picture, or the CCI Productions, let's open it and bring it in so you can see what I'm talking about. And now I've got a picture down here. Okay, so I could drop this in, okay, right here. I need to scale it down because it's too big, so I'm going to right click and put scale to frame size, and then you'll see that it makes it smaller there. So if I wanted to drop it in before this stuff gets started, I could hold control and drop that in, and you can see that I have a picture there. So we're going to undo that. Holding down control and Z, if you look on your keyboard, if you don't know what the control button is, it is the bottom left button on the keyboard labeled CTRL. So control Z will undo that. To add stuff to your media bin, control I will import stuff. So good to know those. Alright, that's your media bin. Everything lives there. Pictures, video clips, titles, music tracks, sound effects, everything lives here. This next smaller window is all your various tools. I like to make this as skinny as possible to have more room here. You can also move these around if you want to. Like I can grab this and I can drop it up here. So I just drag it wherever I want it. I'm going to drop it up here and release it. Now I have my tools up here instead of down here. And for that matter, I can move the entire bin. If I want the entire bin to be up here, then I could have this entire editing area there. So just so you know that's a possibility. So let's go back up here to this area. We've got this is also acts as our editing. Now you have so many across the top, it's kind of hard to follow. But if you do something and you want it to be fixed back to the way it was, you go to Window, go to Workspace, and go to Reset Current Workspace. If you click on that and hit yes, then it'll take it back to the way it was. So just to let you know that that's there. So you can move these windows by grabbing the dark gray here too. So up here in this window, this is your source clip. So if I double click on a clip, it brings it up here where I can scrub through and look at this footage. Okay, obviously this is not color corrected properly. These, once we get here, we can see that they are color corrected properly. I think somebody figured out that the camera was not color corrected and they fixed it, so that's good. We're not worried about that, but this bin is just like a source bin to pay attention to watch. You got effect controls, like if I want to take this and scale it down, whatever clip is selected, as you see my playhead is right here, I could position, I could scale it, I could rotate it, you know, if I want to do some kind of special effect. Then you could do that, but that's all done here. If you want to undo it, just click that button. So that's under effect controls. There's the audio mixer. So maybe when we get into this, we have 4 tracks of audio, but we may have a voiceover, we may have a music bed, all that we could adjust here. I'm not going to worry about metadata, but here's your program monitor. You're going to learn what a program monitor is when working in the Pulse. The program monitor is what your audience is seeing. I've got a master current time indicator that I can grab and scrub. As you can see, it's moving this one down here when I move this one up top. So I can move that and be able to scrub all the footage from the entire game right here. So so that's that. You got a playhead where I can play it. We've got, you can step forward if you want to do step by step, frame by frame, and we're going to look at that soon. But let's go ahead and get started with the editing. This last window is where we're going to do our editing, and that's the timeline window. So this is our timeline. We build our tracks. You use this bar down here, grab the corner of the bar, and you can move it where you can see all the clips. We're going to build our video. This is right at an hour's worth of video down to about a minute and a half. So editing is a huge job, but that's what we're going to do. So this is where we build our playlist, and it goes from left to right. So yeah. Okay, so so what we're going to do here, again, this is timeline window. We build it from left to right just to show you some of the important buttons. One of the most important buttons is this button right here for what's called snap. And you typically want to keep the snap on because it just, as you see when we're editing in a minute, it makes life easier. So just remember this button, it's called snap or snapping, and you want to keep that turned on most of the time. So let's go ahead and go through the process. Step one in this process is rough editing. Okay, so we're going to take these video clips and we can make them bigger here by just raising it. You can't do it over here, but right here you can grab the line and make it bigger, and then you can also go through here and turn the display style on and turn it to show frames. Okay, and it'll show you all the frames of the video. So first step is going to be rough editing. So we are going to rough edit, just find the parts of the clip that we really want. So there's the best way and the easiest way to begin this and start this process is just to hit the space bar to stop and start the video, or you can also hit JKL. If I hit, I'm gonna start off show you space bar, so I hit space bar, it begins playback, and so let's say that I can stop and start it with that, so just let that play. Kind of see what we got. Alright, that's a better one with most of the team coming in. So now that I've got, you see my playhead moves, the current time indicator moves as when I hit space bar. So if I come back here, I can drag it, or I can hit the play button to find where I want it to be. So after this, zoom out and I see the coach here. Okay, that's where I want my video to start. So you've got two options that are very important. Option one, you can see my mouse is a white arrow right now. I can go to the beginning and it'll turn into a red bracket, and I can click and drag that red bracket to trim off the video. So it has cut the video off here. So now it's black and it goes to this point. Okay, let me undo that. I'm gonna hit again Control Z to undo, or I can come in here with these tracks selected. See, they're unselected now, but if I select them all, okay, and make them all white, then I can hit Control K and I can make a cut. And as you can see, I've taken it and I've cut it right where this is at. Okay, I'm gonna hit undo. I could also come in here and I could grab the razor tool, or I could hit the letter C. So I can click the razor tool and I could have it and just cut, and it cuts it all the way across. Okay, so I've still got the cut on. If you see my my tool down here, there we go. It still is a razor blade. If I hit the letter V, it will go back to my selection tool, or I can just select it up. Notice when the name of the tool pops up when you hover your mouse over it that the letter also is there for the hotkey. So just remember those letters as you're hovering, and you can just hit the letter while you're editing to become a faster editor. Here, I could just go right here and hit selection, hit that, hit delete. So now it's gone. I play it back. Okay, I'm watching it, you know. Alright, so let's say I wanted that. Maybe I wanted it to start when it was zooming in. Okay, then I could do, let's just have this first part of them coming out. They're starting to run. So I'm going to drag and trim it off. I'm going to play it back. Or you can grab the playhead and you can say, you know, right before that zoom starts, right there, I want to have it end right here. And again, the same thing. I'm going to just click and drag off the end. So now I've got a clip. And so if I play it back, hitting space bar to play back, I can see that I've got that clip. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. And so if you don't want to sit and watch it in real time and just let it sit here, you can do another trick, okay? And it's J, K, and L. So J plays backwards. I'm going to hit J, and that's backwards. And I can hit K to stop. So K is stop. And then L is right beside it. That's play forward. And I can hit stop. And that's playing in fast forward. I can also play it quicker. So I can go faster. I can hit L and hit L again, hit L again, hit L again, and I can go in high speed. And I can also go backwards in fast speed. Alright, so what I see here as an editor is I see a shot of two different teams. I've got a team here and I've got a team here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, find this little zoom out right before it starts to pan, and I'm going to hit Control K. And then right before it, let's find a good spot for it to come in right when it's starting to zoom out. I'm going to trim it right there. So this is what I've got. That. And then it goes to a new clip. And then I want to get this video right here. And I want to start it where there's a good spot. Look like this kid's, there's a quarterback throwing the ball right here, and you can see the ball's in the air. So they got the kid catching it right here. Yep. Perfect. So I want it to end right there for them. So I'm going to end it here, and then I'm going to trim it right when that quarterback's throwing the ball. That's a good spot. Then I'm going to grab it and trim it. Okay. Or remember, you can also hit Control K. Click on that, hit the delete key, and now, see, now I've got trimmed clips. Okay, let's do a few more. So I'm hit space bar to start it. Tapping helmets, going out. Okay, they're breaking up there. So what you have to decide is if this is what you want for your highlight or not. Okay, so I'm going to get right before they break and then play it for a second. And they're dispersing. So that might be good to come in right before a title, and then I'm going to come down. And I'm just keep on going. Okay, so I'm going to pause it there. I'm going to rough edit a little bit, and then after I get to the next step, then I'll show you that. Okay, so we're just continuing doing some rough editing. I am just going through here and cutting out pieces of video that work. Now, the difference between rough editing and fine editing is rough, we just want to get rid of what we don't want and only keep what we do want. Okay, when we get into fine editing, we'll shorten the clips, we'll rearrange them in order, you know, put effects on them, do transitions, but rough editing is just the basic first step. So I saw here, I've got this with the captains there, and then also I got the girls coming up with a run through for the cheerleading team. So this is a good time to kind of bring it back in. I've got a cut here. I know I don't want any of this up to here, so I can get rid of it. And then I know I want to get it right when Alexander runs through the run through, so I don't need any of this. I could also use JKL, so I'm gonna hit L, and I can go kind of in fast speed here because I'm gonna be able to see what. Okay, there we go. All right, so I want to back up, so I'm gonna hit J to go in reverse. And then boom, K to stop it, and then I'm going to hit then I've got this extra video I need to cut off. Eventually you'll get really fast at this and it'll get really easy, and you'll hit Control K, delete that, and then you'll keep on going. Okay, then I'm going to come here. That's good on that. I'm going to hit spacebar to stop it, Control K to get rid of it, to make a cut. Two separate clips. This is what I'm keeping, this is what I don't think I'm keeping. Yep, don't need any of that, and I can delete it. Okay, so what you're going to end up with is you're going to have a bunch of clips with spaces in between them like this. So you want to get rid of those spaces and start condensing that hour Because again, remember, we're trying to get this 60-minute video down to somewhere right in here. We got to get all this into this little bitty space. So if I drag my work area, this is your work area bar. If I drag it down to here, we want to be somewhere in there. Well, already, we've got a lot of editing we've got to do. So I'm going to right click and ripple delete, right click, ripple delete, right click. I'm doing this on the mouse. Okay, if you're on a Mac, you can control click. You do have right click on your mouse, just FYI, but I'm going to control click. And now I'm getting into, so you're like, I've only got this much room to stuff all that in. Yes, that's part of it. But also keep in mind, just because I rough edited these in doesn't mean I'm going to keep them. For instance, I don't need all of these guys, this guy's walking that much. Okay, I may just keep just a little bit of it. Okay, so I may just have them from right here, trim that in, and I may only end up keeping that just till they turn around. Okay, I can also slide these clips. I can just grab them and slide them, and I can ripple delete to get them smaller. Also right here, I don't need to have a lot of time of them doing stuff there. So for the coin toss, so I may just want to keep the last few seconds. One thing you'll find in learning editing is that you don't have to have a lot of video to explain what's happening in the video. With this, I may get it right before it comes out. Now, what I'm doing right here is more of fine editing, but you get the point of what I'm trying to make. Okay, so I'm going to come here. Alright, so this is the easy part. What you're going to do with this is you're going to hit JKL, so I'm going to hit L, and I'm just going to let it run till I find something that's good, till I find a clip I like. Then I'm going to hit spacebar or K to stop it. So I'm going to watch it right here in real time with you. Okay, people walking in front of the camera, obviously I can't use that very good. Okay, I'm also going to mute this video real quick. Okay, hit L to start it back again. We want it to go, fast. I'm just looking for a highlight. I'm looking for something that's good. Okay, that's a drop ball. That's not very good. Defensive or offensive, it doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to keep on watching with you in real time. Here's a punt. And during these pre-games, they don't field the punts because this is, again, just a scrimmage game. So we're still looking for highlights. Okay, now we've got Chapel Hill on the ball. Okay, and we're coming to the end of this clip. Look down here. This is the end of the clip, and I haven't seen anything that I like. Okay, anything that I think is clip worthy. So that entire piece of video, I can hit delete. Now I can come here. I can hit spacebar or JKL till I find something that's good. Here's a pass. If he completes it, we'll keep it. And he's not, because that was way overthrown. No offense, Chapel Hill. Okay, still looking for a highlight here. Okay, let's see what Chapel Hill's got. That was an interesting play, but again, he dropped the ball, so it's not really a highlight for us. If it was a defensive play, that would be different. So it looks like Chapel Hill's going to punt here. All right, we're going to really speed it up because we don't need to see them punting the ball. It's not really interesting. You see it's kind of jumping around. All right, now Alexander's back on the ball, so I don't need these clips. I'm going to get rid of it because, see, that's where I'm at currently. All right, so let's watch it. That was an okay run, no big deal. We're looking again for highlights. See if we've got one here. All right. Not a bad run, not a bad tackle. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to keep this run and this tackle. Now, typically the game camera is just going to continually run. But if it's not, what we want to do is we want to trim this down. As you can see, the quarterback here is about to get the ball. So there's about to hike it. So I'm going to move my playhead really slowly till right before the ball's about to be hiked, and I'm going to trim all. See, all that we cut off just because we adjusted where he's getting it. Okay, and then once he's tackled, he's down, boom. Okay, that's all we need, maybe just a tail more. And then we just cut it off, and now we've got that play is trimmed, ready to go. So let's do another one together. I'm going to hit L to go faster. Or you can grab your playhead and go, pretty much really fast. There was a penalty on that. So, continue to play here. We're going through. We're waiting till they get on the ball. So no matter what, we know we're not going to start it before right there. So we're going to hit Control K. And all of this video here, once again, we don't need it. That's how you're going to. This is how you're going to get an hour video down into a minute and a half, 2-minute highlight. Delete it. The ball's about to be hiked. We watch it. Let's see what we got here. And the ball was deflected. So not super amazing. I'm going to hit JKL. Remember, these clips I don't need. I'm just remembering it. I don't need this punt because they're not going to field the punt. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, right before Chapel Hill gets the ball, I'm going to go ahead and delete those. I'm going to trim it off and watch. Let's see. I'm watching what's happening here. Just kind of a normal tackle play, nothing big. Let's grab it. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, we've got a pretty good, that's a great play. That's a good run. Our camera operator did a good job of zooming in on the play. That is very good. So that's the end of the play. So I'm going to hit Control K, knowing that this cut is the end, and I'm going to roll it back to right before he hikes the ball. Okay, trim that off. Okay, that's a highlight. Now we've got a highlight, and we've got just what we need of the play. We've got the hike, we've got a good run, we got some arm tackles by Alexander, and zoom in, we can really see it. Great job, camera operators. Okay, hit L again, and then I'm going to go to the beginning of the next play. Alright, right before it's hiked, and trim it off. Alright, so then I'm going to take these highlights, and I'm going to right click, ripple delete, right click, ripple delete, and now I've got my highlights I'm building into my package here. Okay, so this is part 2 of rough editing. So this is the first step, is rough editing and getting all this trimmed down. So that's going to be the first thing you're going to want to do, is get this cut down into some highlights. Once you get it trimmed down into some highlights, we're going to do our fine editing. And then we're going to add titles and music and transitions, and we're going to be done. So that's the second part of editing.